The cost of excessive alcohol consumption in the United States is estimated to be $350 billion per year. Nearly 100,000 people die from alcohol-related causes annually, making it the third leading preventable cause of death in the United States. About one-third of Americans, 28%, drink alcohol at levels that put them at risk for alcohol dependence or alcohol-related problems. It's a big problem. So it stands to reason then that a significant portion of my caseload as a therapist is bound to have some issues with drinking too much. And naturally, problems with alcohol surface during the course of treatment. Over the years, 15 plus now, that I've been in practice, I've had ample experience dealing with this issue. And I've gained some local notoriety over the years as that guy who does not insist that abstinence is the only answer. As a matter of fact, many of my clients come to me, seek me out specifically because they are not interested in never drinking again. Rather, they're interested in learning to drink responsibly. And they've heard that I can and I will help them to do just that. Moreover, I have a growing contingency of clients who have simply no interest in claiming to be powerless over alcohol, no desire to turn it over to a higher power, and are just not too keen on owning a defective moral character label. Now, if those terms don't ring a bell, then Google the 12 steps. It'll make sense. And I have to completely agree. Claiming powerlessness over excessive alcohol consumption, or any chosen behavior for that matter, is literally the antithesis of my belief. I'm a believer, but asking God to take care of something that is fully within my control, well, that doesn't sit well with me either. And insinuating that a learned behavior, enjoying too much of the drink, says something about my moral character, that's simply offensive to me. Now, I'm not here to knock the tradition, the 12 steps, but rather to say that it's just not for everyone. And I'm not alone in my belief. In fact, there is plenty of hard scientific evidence to support what I believe. In 1989, the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism sponsored a $27 million project called Project Match. It was to investigate the effectiveness of 3 distinctly different treatment protocols for alcohol problems. The study was designed to determine whether treatment should be uniform or assigned to patients based on specific needs and characteristics. The 3 types of treatment they studied were as follows. Number 1, cognitive behavioral therapy, focusing on correcting distorted, negative, and self-defeating thinking. Number 2, motivational enhancement therapy, which helps clients become aware of and build on their own personal strengths. And 12-step facilitation therapy, of course, based on the Alcohol Anonymous philosophy. The study concluded that the 3 techniques were equal in effectiveness, meaning that there was no statistical difference in outcomes between the 3 approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, the first one, just happens to be the approach that I use exclusively to develop responsible drinking behaviors. In addition to that, I'm also a certified Prime for Life instructor. Prime for Life is an approach that integrates cognitive behavioral theory or therapy and contingency management strategies, which involve developing tangible reinforcements for positive behaviors. Prime for Life philosophy recognizes the fact that the majority of people who have, at one period in their lives, experienced problems with excessive use of alcohol have returned to responsible levels of alcohol use. This clearly supports the fact that the human brain can be reprogrammed to think in ways that support responsible use of alcohol. And this is exactly where I fit into the picture. If a person is convinced of the proposition that once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, then that person probably just needs to go to AA. I'm not here to wrestle that belief away from anybody and try and substitute a new one. I am here to serve a significant portion of clients who do want to believe that they can change and want to hear about how that can be done. So, if there's even a sliver of hope that you can change from a problem drinker to a responsible drinker, then continue on with this series of videos. This series is expressly for people who want to hear how that can be done and possibly give it a try themselves. Ironically, I have found this to be most of the clients that I deal with. Is that serendipity or just blind coincidence? I don't think so. I believe it is representative of the entire population as a whole. In other words, I believe there are quite a few people who want to learn to drink responsibly. In my experience, there are plenty of people just not interested in abstinence. They're interested in learning to drink like responsible people drink. In my book, learning to drink responsibly is actually the greater of the two achievements. It's much more satisfying to learn how to drink a couple drinks and then be done than it is to simply stick to the idea it has to be 0 because if I have 1, I can't stop. I believe that every living, thinking, functioning human brain can be reprogrammed to do just that, stop at a responsible amount. I simply don't believe the notion, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. That notion is simply not consistent with the science of neuroplasticity. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic says that it is impossible to build a set of thoughts that can drive the behavior of responsible drinking. Therefore, neuroplasticity and the 12-step philosophy are opposing tenets or opposing beliefs. They are mutually exclusive. If one notion is true, the other one cannot be. And I'm clearly going with neuroplasticity. What follows in this video series is an explanation of the cognitive behavioral strategies for developing responsible drinking behaviors. So, welcome aboard, and I'll see you on the sober side.